Hi there, it's Gabby here for you, and I really hope this finds you well. This week, I'm talking about a topic that comes up so many times for people that I'm working with, and that is how do you move forward when you are not really living the life that you want to live? How can you put the past behind you? And how can you really create the life that you want? So, this subject is so important. And I know after my cancer treatment or any life changing event really that we go through in midlife, we can almost sometimes become trapped in an identity that's not really who we are. And sometimes you can think about, well, what happened to that person that I used to be? Surely I'm more than just a mother or an employee or a cancer patient. I know when I was going through my treatment, I felt like a victim. I felt out of control. So this is all about how do you move forward from that? And I love this quote that I'm going to give you from Carl Jung, and that is, I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. And that is so important because quite often it's easy to fall into the trap of thinking, I can't help it. I'm powerless. These things are outside of my control. There's nothing I can do. But remember that quote, I am not what happened to me. I am what I choose to become. Okay, so I'm going to give you 3 steps in this podcast today to help you let go of the past and maybe let go of an identity that you don't really want to have anymore. And how do you get into action to move forward if you're feeling overwhelmed? If that all just feels like too much, I'm going to give you some practical tips for that. So I want to start off by really understanding the weight of the past. And we all do this. We've all got past experiences that the older you get as well. And it can be really hard sometimes to let those past experiences go. But what I'd encourage you to do is to stop letting them weigh you down. And we all have this, and I've suffered with this in the past, emotional baggage, self-doubt, emotional baggage, self-doubt, and lots of regrets for mistakes that I've made in the past. Past experiences can help shape our mindset and our behavior, and it can filter how we see the world. And we all see the world through our own filters. And if you think about it, sometimes I've seen crime reconstructions on TV, and a group of people will all observe the same event, but they remember different things because we're all seeing things through our filters. Yeah. And one of my filters used to be, well, I always mess up, or, well, I'm just not a very confident person, because that's how I saw the world. And so we've all got those filters. And I'd encourage you to think about, what are your filters? What are your beliefs that you have? And are they holding you back, or are they empowering you to move forward? And there's no judgment here because we all do it. I used to do this as well, still do it to a degree, but I catch myself doing it now. And I know I've got tools that will help me move forward. So think about, what are you holding on to that's holding you back? Because we can let go of that, can't we? I know you can, if you want to. So the 3 steps to help you to let go of that past. And first of all is to acknowledge the past. We don't want to pretend that these bad things or these, sometimes they're not terrible things. And I know a lot of people I speak to will say, oh, I remember a comment a teacher made to me at school. And these people are in the 50s or 60s and they've still got that little, oh, well, that teacher judged me, and they were their teacher and I was a little child, so they must have been right. We're going to let that go. But because it's still there, it's really important to remember it and process it and maybe put it in its place. That teacher probably made a throwaway comment that she or he's probably forgotten all about, but you're still holding on to that. And maybe sometimes we let those things that people say to us hold us back. We almost let it become our truth. And somebody wise once said to me, we were talking about a comment that they'd made. And she said, well, if that person said you were blue, would it bother you? If they said, oh, you're a blue person. Oh, no, because I'm not blue. Yeah, but if they're judging you and giving you another label, why are you not letting it bother you? And that's not true. And we all do it. So just acknowledge what it is. What are the things that are holding you back? What are the things that you're carrying around? What are these stories? What are the beliefs that you've got that maybe you'd like to change to a more empowering belief that's going to serve you, that's going to help you, it's going to support you? Once you've acknowledged that, it's time to forgive and release. So I talk about forgiveness a lot, and this is not about giving other people that have done you wrong, giving them a free pass. It's not about that at all. It's acknowledging most people do the best they can with what they've got. If somebody's hurt you or done something cruel to you, you want to forgive them, not for them, but for you. You need to let go of any resentment you've got and forgive yourself as well for the way that you have reacted. And I know this has been a big game changer for me, is learn to forgive myself mistakes that I've made, show myself some compassion, acknowledge that I'm only human. Yes, I've messed up sometimes, but I can learn from that. Okay. And once you do that, it's such a relief to forgive yourself. Stop going round and round in your mind, telling yourself what a bad person you are, or how stupid you are, or whatever else it is you're saying. Forgive yourself and free up that emotional space to move forward. And then the next step in these 3 steps is to reframe your story. And what does that mean? It means transforming your past challenges into lessons that will empower you to grow, not hold you back. So think about if you've been through a difficult situation. Well, transforming that challenge could be, oh, well, I didn't really want that diagnosis, but actually it helped me to see that inside I'm a lot stronger than I thought I was. Or actually that challenge that I had at work, I didn't really want to go through that horrible experience. Maybe you've been made redundant. So many people say this to me. Oh, I lost my job and I thought it was the worst thing that could ever happen to me. But actually, it was a blessing in disguise, because it helped me change direction, or it took me onto the new job, or even a relationship that breaks up that can be heartbreaking. You know, that can be a lesson as well. Maybe you reflect on it and think, well, these are the mistakes that I made in that relationship. And actually, letting that go has helped me to move on to a better relationship. So if you're struggling to reframe your story, one of the best things that you can do that's helped me is to journal. Get a notebook, just write. I've talked about this before. Just this constant stream of consciousness, just write down exactly what you're thinking. No judgment. Nobody else has to see this. It's just for you to get your thoughts out of your head onto paper. But just give you a little caveat, if you're really, really struggling with this, if you are what they call clinically depressed, or if you've got so much trauma that you really cannot move forward, you may want to seek help from a professional therapist, which I am not. I'm a qualified coach, but I'm not a therapist. And if you need any help with this process, this podcast is not a substitute for medical help. If that's what you need, reach out to me if you need any help with that. If you think, oh, I'm not sure if I need some help, just reach out and ask me. Okay, I'm here for you. So once we've done that, we've let go of the past, we've acknowledged it, we've done some forgiveness work, we've reframed our story into being not a victim anymore, but actually being somebody who's got a lot of power inside, somebody who can handle challenges and move forward in life with some grace and some humour. The next step, if you really want to change your identity, is envision a life that you want. What is it that you want? And this is different for everybody. But the power of actually visualizing what you actually want, rather than just a vague daydream. And sports people are really, really good at this. I saw the Olympic runner, Chris Akabusi, years ago, and he did a really motivational speech about how before he went to the Olympics, I think for years leading up to the Olympic race, he practiced in his mind how he would feel winning that race, the preparation that he would do to get the gold medal. And he practiced it over and over in his mind until when he came to run the race, he was ready. His body was ready. He almost had a memory of winning it, and he eased into it. Okay. And I know footballers do this as well. They practice taking the penalty or scoring that winning goal. Practice and practice until your body has experienced it so many times, it feels natural. It doesn't feel like something that's way out of your comfort zone. Something it's experienced before almost. If you visualize a vivid picture that is so real that you can almost touch it. And I used to get told off as a child for daydreaming, but I love doing this now, this visualization exercise, and think about what is it that you want. Who would you be there with? What would you see? Think about all your senses. What would you hear? What would you feel? Is it warm? Is it cold? What are the colours like? What can you smell? Who is there with you? So what does the life you desire look like? How does it feel to live it? Really get into that feeling. What does it, if you were living that life, what would it feel like? And then I'd really encourage you to ask yourself, well, why do you want this? And almost like sometimes children are very good at this. Small children will say, why? Why do you want that thing? And for instance, oh, well, I want to win the lottery. Why do you want to win the lottery? Well, then I won't be worried about bills. Okay, what would it feel like not to be worried about your bills? Well, I'd be able to travel then and I feel free. Why do you want to feel free? And so actually this person that I was doing this with didn't really want to win the lottery. They wanted to feel free. They wanted to be able to travel. That's what they wanted. That was their why. And so sometimes you're thinking about that. Well, you don't always have to win the lottery to be able to travel. You don't always have to win the lottery to be able to feel free. So whatever it is for you, think about the life that you want. How does it feel to live it? And why do you want it? Why is that important to you? Really get into that feeling. And once you've got that, that will help you to take action towards your ideal life rather than just a vague dream. You can see it now. You know what it looks like. You know what it feels like. Okay, well, what do you need to do to get there? And it might feel like, the life that you want is so far away from where you are now. But what do they say? What's the best way to eat an elephant is one bite at a time. So you break it down into small, achievable goals. And again, as a coach, this is something that I work with my clients on. I'm here now. I want to get there. Well, what are the steps that you need to take? And rather than trying to change all of your life in a weekend, as a lot of people do, even in January, right, I'm going to change everything about me. I'm going to lose weight. I'm going to start a new habit. I'm going to learn a language. Just think about embracing a growth mindset, telling yourself that you have the ability to adapt, to improve, and to learn. Think about me, I'm in my 60s. I've learned how to do a podcast. I've learned how to set up a YouTube channel, learned how to write a blog, all sorts of things that I want to do. You can learn anything you want to do if your end goal is important to you. You can do anything. You can't do everything all at once. Okay, so think about that. Once you've got a plan, think about your daily rituals that can align with your desired life. For instance, I start my day with gratitude. Talked about this before I get out of bed. Just thinking about three things that I'm really grateful for. My first cup of coffee in the morning, my warm home, the fact I've got a roof over my head. Think about that and repeat to yourself, because it puts you in a positive frame of mind to think, I'm grateful for what I've got, but it's okay to want more and to be moving towards my goals. And this is how I transformed my life from being a stressed out employee and quite a well-paid manager, where I thought, I can't really leave this job because I'm not going to earn enough money if I do something else, and I won't be able to have the lifestyle that I want. But actually, I've become a coach by following this framework. So I'd encourage you to think about doing something today, just even if it's a small step. If you want to improve your health, just think about drinking your water today. If you want to improve your fitness, think about doing 10, 15 minutes of exercise today. Small steps every day, and it becomes cumulative. It builds up time after time. These small habits become creating the life that we want. So I'm going to finish now talking about putting the past behind us and creating the life that we really want, the life that we desire. But I'm going to remind you, this is the life that you deserve. We all know this. It's such a cliche, but it's true. Life is short. And what do you want to spend your life doing? Okay. I'd really encourage you to think about the things I've said. Letting go of the past. We all do it, and I've done it, spending too much time thinking about the past. Think about envisioning your ideal life, and then get into taking action. It doesn't have to be huge. It can be if you feel inspired. Small steps every day are going to get you to where you want to go. So thank you so much for listening, as always. I'd ask you to reflect on your next steps, and please share your journey with me. Anything that you've taken from this podcast, write it in the comments if you can, wherever you're watching this or listening to this. Send me a message. I'd love to hear from you. And just want to let you know that in the next podcast, I'm going to be talking about a book that's been described as a life-changing tool millions of people can't stop talking about. The key to happiness, success, and love is as simple as two words: let them. And the book is Let Them by Mel Robbins, that I've been reading. Well, I've been listening to it on Audible, to be fair. And it is an amazing book, and it's a very simple premise. A really great philosophy that Mel Robbins said changed her life. And actually, I can see that it's changed the way I'm viewing a lot of situations that I've been struggling with. So I'm going to share that with you as well. Thank you so much for listening. It means the world to me. As always, stay safe and stay sane. I love you, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.